join.
All right, I will call the meeting to order at 7:35 a.m. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Adoption of the agenda. It is recommended the Board of Education adopt the agenda as submitted. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Please vote. Motion carried. Unfinished business 2021-2022 district academic calendar. Dr. Gardner.
Morning, board. We have provided what we would say are 5 different versions, taking your feedback from the last board meeting, and I'll run through them very quickly. The first draft was to start on that Monday, the 23rd. The second one was to remove the October in service and keep everything else the same. That would mean a Tuesday start date. The third was to remove the teacher workday and in front of the winter break. Number 4 was to split that day in half, have students come, have an early release, and retain the teachers for a work time or work day. And then the 5th one was to move the teacher workday to the back side of winter break and to start on Monday. So we thought we would provide those for you for some brief discussion so that when we get to March's meeting, we have one version that we're focused on and would ask for your approval at that point. I thought I'd give you a quick update. I texted Vicki this morning to see if we have received any public comment on our posted calendar, and we have received none. I have received one email from a teacher, but that is all the feedback that we've been given at this point.
I believe there was one version, and now I can't find it really quickly, but where the start date was on a Monday.
That's one.
Yeah. I had them all up, so I can't tell which is which, but I don't know that will be terribly popular. And I know I've heard feedback in the past that that's challenging, that first full week being a full week. But not always going to be perfect. Any other feedback for Rob on this?
It does give us the extra day. I mean, it's a 1%, I think, improvement in total days allocation by adding the extra day in the first semester. I think we go from what was 11 days difference to 10-day difference. So if that's our goal, I think that's positive, and I guess that was the basis of my comment. The only thing that I will say that if we go back to last meeting's presentation on the matter, the winter break slide, that was the one that had the most ambiguity as far as the preference. If you look in the total column, the dark brown column is the favorite, but it's only favored by certified staff, which is the 23rd to the 3rd, which gets us the extra day, and it's not anyone else's favorite, which is why it's kind of confusing to add percentages. So it was like 90% for certified staff and then a much smaller for everyone else. But when you added all those together, it looks like it's the favorite. So that kind of misled me a little when I argued for that. But just the same, that's probably the best option for getting an extra day into first semester, because everything else, Thanksgiving and everything else, was strongly by all parties, to have it as presented. So I would guess certified staff would be the most unhappy with, everyone else would be most unhappy with this. Certified staff would be happiest, although I think they were the ones arguing for an in-service day. I don't know. That's a lot of rambling to say. It accomplishes getting it one more day in there, and I think that's the least harmful way, is to have the winter break shifted.
Gary, are you speaking to version 1 or version 5? I
think it was 5.
Okay, so the one that starts on a Monday but moves the teacher work day to the end of the break.
No, I'm sorry, that's not what I meant then. The version that didn't start on a Monday. We just shifted the Christmas holiday, whichever version that was.
Okay.
Mine are all open too.
Okay, so if you look at the top, it'll say early start and move teacher workday to winter break. So winter break would start on the 23rd. Teachers would have a work day on that Tuesday, and then students would come back on the 5th. That moves an additional day to second semester, so adding one to first, and that also starts on a Monday.
I kind of agree with Buffy that I don't like starting on a Monday for day of school. So, and I try to pull them up, and I pull one up, and then I get kicked out of school board for some reason. So, if there's one that has a starting on a Tuesday, and then even the days out for the break, which I thought was the winter break one, that's what I would vote for, or be interested in. But when I open them up, I get kicked back out for some reason. So I apologize.
I did too.
It's probably me, guarantee you.
No, I got kicked out too.
I can share my screen with an option if you need me to. I just need to know which option to present.
I think maybe if you can, bring them up one at a time, Andy, so I can be clear as to which one we want to take to the board meeting next month.
Okay. First one I'll show would be version 1. Oh, wrong way. I apologize. There we go.
Darn. Okay.
And that one, just the change is to start on a Monday.
My internet connection is unstable. Odd that they would say that something is unstable. What about me? Okay.
Sometimes if you turn your camera off, it uses less and makes your connection better.
Huh.
Okay, so we don't want to start on a Monday. Do we want to move to the next?
Okay, so here's version 2.
Give me just a second here. Oh, I apologize again. Okay, so here's version 2.
Version 2 removes that October in-service day, which was scheduled on the 11th, making that a student contact day, adds an additional day to first semester. We start on a Tuesday, so that's the same as the original draft. And we get the student contact day. And we leave the teacher work day intact in December.
Right.
Is October 11th Columbus Day, federal holiday?
Let me look for October 11th.
It is.
Okay.
But we go to school on that day. And we have historically.
Okay.
It also,
Just double checking.
that makes the teachers happy on the 22nd of December, and it honors everyone else's except the teachers' request to start Christmas break on the 22nd. Okay.
Okay, Andy, you want to go to version 3?
Yep. Well,
So version 3, all that we start on a Tuesday, but it takes out the teacher workday on the 22nd, and we would just go to school on that day.
And it keeps, then that has the teacher workday on the 11th.
That
Yes.
keeps, that keeps
Okay.
the district and service day on the 11th.
Okay.
Dr. Gardner, what do you think, teachers, have you gotten any feedback? What are your thoughts on which they would prefer? One in October, one in December, right before Christmas? When will they be most engaged too?
Well, I think it's a mixed bag. I think you guys are right that the preference would be not to start on a Monday. I think the preference from the secondary teachers primarily would like that work day.
When would they like it? The October or December?
Well, the October is typically led with professional development and not tied to grades. And if we're switching semesters, we are switching classes and whatnot. So it's a little different question for me to answer.
The October day is professional development, and the December day is pretty much teacher initiated work time. So, losing in-service days and professional development days is not something that I would recommend at all. The teacher work time is, at that time of year is pretty important as well, but it's two different types of days.
We're talking just one extra day of school, right? Is what we're talking about here by taking away teacher work day.
Correct.
Well, I don't know. It sounds maybe like the professional development day. But I guess it would depend on who you ask. Maybe that's part of what we get feedback from between now and the next board meeting.
I guess my question is, do we think our kids are going to benefit more by being in school an extra day, or by the teachers having 2 days to do extra work to help them, throughout the year? That's the question we're talking about here, probably. So maybe it's important for the teachers at 2 work days and not worry about getting 1 extra day of schooling, which is not fun.
Or when it is. I mean, if it's second semester, then they still get their PD. It's just not in first semester, which is short.
I think after the last couple of school years that we've had, now's not the time to be pulling student in-person days, but we can certainly pose that question to the public.
Andy, would you like to show draft 4?
Quick question. If we don't have that PD day in October, wouldn't the teachers then have to take time off to get their development done, and then we'd be hiring subs and things of that nature?
To answer your question, we would definitely have to get creative. I don't know what that looks like. We plan for those in-service days, and there are things that we have to do with teachers to execute what we're trying to do. So we'll just get creative, and we'll make whatever we need to make work.
I just think it makes more sense to leave it with an in-service day. I mean, yeah, it's one less contact day with the kids, but it just makes more sense that way.
Do we still have the half day?
I agree with Alicia.
I think this is maybe
I
a question we get some feedback. Sorry, go ahead.
I prefer the 11th of October to be a PD day, because that's quite a ways from the start of the days that they had before school started. And I think it's a good time to bring staff back together to reinforce, support what we're what we're trying to do, what our goals are, and depending on what situation we're in, hopefully we're completely face to face. Teachers may need some support at that point as well. It's a long time before the next PD.
We still have our half-day PD days.
Yes.
The PLC days?
Right.
Yes.
So it's not like they're going 2 months without any opportunity for development.
It looks like there's, if I'm reading it, maybe I'm reading it wrong. It looks like there's only one PLC day that before the 11th. Is that correct? Or not?
That is
You're
that is
absolutely
correct.
right.
And
It's on
another
the
in
16th.
October, the next week.
Right, the 20th, right. I guess a dumb question. I mean, I can't see it, but what about just adding a date in the year for face to face?
Well,
I can't see where we end. So
but that makes our problem, that doesn't help our problem, the 81 versus 92.
yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
And we kick off the snow days after Memorial Day.
okay. I guess is there a way to add a day before Christmas break, but then would we put a day, if you put another day in the second semester, that wouldn't help you though, would it? Sorry. Just trying to look at the balance of the days out.
Yeah, I think the problem comes down to we don't have very many opportunities to squeeze an extra day in first semester. If Thanksgiving was rated really high on everyone's importance list, all three groups were in favor of, as we have it in the calendar now. It was kind of a mixed bag over Christmas. And then that only leaves, I think, the 11th or when we start. And I think everyone's pretty firm on let's not start on a Monday. So I think that's, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's kind of how we got focused on the 11th and then the 22nd.
Andy, will you show version 4, please? So version 4, if you notice, we will start on a Tuesday. The 22nd would be the day that's changed here. And that becomes a early release day for students. And the balance of the day would be a teacher work day. So that would be, we're just doing the 22nd. It adds an additional day to first semester, and it provides a partial teacher work day, leaving the October 11th district and service day intact.
That might be the best option.
Best of both worlds.
Yes.
So that's version 4. Indy, will you show version 5, please?
Yes.
So version 5 has us beginning on Monday, which if I'm hearing you all correctly, that's not favored. And then it moves the teacher work day from the 22nd to the 4th. So again, it does the same thing with first semester, second semester, but it starts on a Monday. And that's the difference there.
Would that, Dr. Gardner, would that shift how they would utilize that day? How would that look for them if it was after the break?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the body of work would be the same. It does, we talked about balance for the first and second semester. It would bring that balance to 9 days as opposed to what we had. But it does provide a full day of opportunity for teachers to get in grades and kind of launch that second part of the year.
I think that's a question for them or for the calendar committee. Which do they prefer?
Am I missing something? But why is there no school on November 5th?
We have that as an off day because we have parent-teacher conferences on the 3rd and the 4th. And so teachers spend the entire day teaching, and then they spend roughly 3.5 hours in the evening on those days back to back. So it counts as a day of work. And that's why we have the 5th as an off day, because they worked in the evening, 2 evenings in a row to count for that day.
Okay. Thank you.
I agree with Buffy. Maybe we send I think we had the one with the half day in December, or this version 5 we got up here. Maybe send those two to the committee and see which ones they prefer. Is that a possibility?
Absolutely.
Any other discussion contrary to that?
The only thing I'll say is the 23rd, starting on the 23rd is let's see, let me pull my thing back up.
Yeah, that is true. The August 23rd start.
I mean, I'm sorry, the December 23rd start of break was the least favorite, not the least. It was nobody's first choice except certified staff. It was the last choice of parents, and it was the last choice of classified staff to start that day. We could do this version that you have up, do a half day on the 22nd. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me, I guess. I liked option 2, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
But
you're
this
right.
one
If
starts on a
it's December that starting on a Monday, we don't want that. So,
Right.
but,
Yeah, I would sacrifice the 11th over starting on a Monday.
yeah.
So that takes us back to version 4, which would be the early release for students and teacher workday the rest of the 22nd. Andy, would you put up version 4 again?
That's the problem I had. You can't, once you get them open, you can't tell which one's which.
There it is.
That should be version 4 on the screen now.
Correct.
I got to step out for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Any other questions or discussion? I think we've come to an agreement. Dr. Gardner, do you feel?
Yeah, we can certainly do another push to the committee using what we'll call calendar version 4 and try to get some feedback. I'll try to go around today and get some feedback from staff as well on this proposed version. And then we'll bring that back at the board meeting in a couple weeks to finalize that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to beat a dead horse here, but November 5th. I know that's a day off.
That's pretty traditional in
Yeah,
our calendars.
okay. Well, I was just adding another option out there is maybe they can. I mean, that's kind of they can kind of work on the 5th if they wanted to, but that's just an option we're throwing out there because we're only playing with 2 dates. So, all right, that's all I have to say. Thanks.
Okay, school reopening plans. Dr. Gardner, would you like to take this one also?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought we'd give you kind of a quick update as to where we are. Dr. Butel and Dr. Harris are on the call. They can give you some additional information in regards to where we're at, both from a staff and a local community standpoint. We've received some information yesterday in regards to vaccination. So Dr. Harris, why don't you start us out, kind of give us an overview of where we're at from our dashboard, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So when the board established the March 1st return to full in-person date, you also made a commitment to review our dashboard and our data that we've been monitoring over the last really since the beginning of the year. And so I'm going to do just kind of walk us through our current data that we have, and then open it up for questions. As you probably remember from the last several months, there was a lot more red and yellow on this dashboard than what we're seeing now. We're seeing a lot of trends that are much better today than they have been several months ago. So a quick review, if you look at the dashboard again, the very top, we have our staff attendance measures. The around 9% absentee rate has been pretty consistent all year long with our staff. It's in the yellow because we want to kind of monitor that and make sure that we're doing okay. But when you connect it to our substitute fill rate that has been really strong the last several weeks, we want to make sure we have an available workforce to be able to provide quality education for our kids. So we feel much better about that, certainly trending in a better direction. Student attendance is strong currently. You can see the district-wide attendance being over 95%. At the bottom of that chart, you'll see the breakdown of the individual buildings, and all of them are above 95% except one building, and Dr. Butel can kind of walk through that, but we feel pretty good about where we stand overall in student attendance. The quarantine numbers are low and really trending in the right direction from where they've been. We did have a slight uptick in one building, which is part of our mitigation strategies and part of the process. But overall, majority of our buildings have been trending in the right direction there. Our positive test measures are, you can see from those results, those are as low as they've been since we started monitoring this progress, monitoring the data. So we feel good about that. The community measures that we look at from the Platte County Health Department, our positivity rate is still indicated in red. That's because the health department would like to see that below 10%, but it has never been below 10% since the beginning, and is certainly trending in the right direction. It's a slightly up from last time we looked at this, but when we think about where we were in November and December in the 30s and 40%, it certainly has trended downward over the last month. Community prevalence number is also low, and you can see the overall percentage of our community prevalence. It has gone down. Our number of new cases, they have gone down significantly over the last 30 days. So that's kind of a high level overview of where we stand on our current measures and data. If Dr. Butel wants to talk any more about where we are in our quarantine, I'll let her share that information with you.
I think you covered the quarantine piece. The big piece to note is that last night, the governor made the announcement of the opening of phase 1B tier 3, which includes those connected to schools as part of the infrastructure piece. Our partnership with Truman, I was really pleased. I got a phone call and an email last night letting us know that they will give us our date, hopefully next week. They will let us know what our date is after the 15th for when our staff can be vaccinated here on site and what that event will look like. We have all of our plans ready to go. So that's pretty exciting. We were supposed to participate in an event today for folks over 65 who we had not yet networked to other vaccination events and those with high risk, but are not sure what's going on. After this, I'll get a call into them. None of our folks got notified today. So we've got some folks waiting for vaccine for that. So hopefully we can get them in on Monday. But all those things are moving forward. Any questions about vaccine or any of that?
Good work.
We believe, in summary, that we're good to go to bring kids back, at least our secondary kids back full in person on Monday. I think Dr. Brown's been working in regards to schedules, and that information has gone out to parents that we had to shuffle some schedules and reassign some teachers as well.
At this point, anyone who is moving schedule or teachers, have they been notified, or is that today?
So yes, I would say by the end of the day, everybody should be notified. Dr. Miller, I got to give him and Robert Mueller a lot of credit. They and their counseling staff have been contacting families all week who will have changed schedules. There's about 120 schedule changes at the middle school, but 60 of those 120 required new teachers. And most of them were in 7th grade. There was roughly 70 in 7th grade, about between 20 and 30 in 6th grade, and the same in 8th grade. And they have been, they've been working really hard all week. So kudos to them. And I appreciate everything they've done to make this happen. In fact, I just gotta say kudos to the high school as well. And, you know, we've got kids moving back and forth, and, you know, every day I'm taking emails, and I copy about 10 people on those to make sure that the families are being communicated and kids are taken care of. So there's just a lot of transition, but everybody's working hard and really working with the family. So I'm super proud of our administrators and our counselors working with the families.
Good work. Any questions or discussion? Okay. Moving forward. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
second? All right. Please vote.
Okay. You're waiting for me to vote. I don't have a place to vote now. Let's see.
Are you in ESB?
I can do a quick roll call. Sharon,
Thank you. Yeah, I'm in ASB. It just, there's nothing above to vote.
Okay, please vote.
Sharon, do you vote to adjourn?
She's going to do a roll call.
Yes. Bobby,
Yes.
Buffy,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Alicia,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
Sharon.
Yes.
Thank you. We are adjourned. Have a good rest.